day, everyone. Welcome to South Africa Unfiltered. I'm your host. Namhlanje studio sino Mr. Twabu. Welcome and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
All right. Could you please introduce yourself?
Nkokheli Twabu. Abantu abaninzi, they know me as Saint.
Okay.
I was born and bred bizana kwilaletha okwaKhanyayo.
All right.
Emapekuteni. Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell us about your journey? Usesesikoleni, usenza izifundo zemedia and uqala kwakho icompany yakho?
I did primary, ne?
Yes.
I did my primary studies kwaKhanyayo, ilali yakulotata, and then I moved to Nkokheli to do my junior studies, and then I went to Nkokheli High School to do my high school studies, and then I went to Wusu to do IT. I dropped out.
Right.
And then I went to Boston Media House to study media and marketing. Yeah.
All right. What inspired you about the business yakho?
Well, I grew up in a very musical family. So my family is from Kulu, Tata. He was a choir conductor, and then my mother was also a chorist at school. So my background has always been around music.
Yes.
I was okay, and then at Taweni, I go to my mother's church, which was founded by my father and my mother, Apostolic Faith Mission. So also there, I was a pianist from a very young age. So I've always been in the music industry, but at the background, and then yabona la nto ubana xa ufunda high school uthi ufuna ukwenza into ethile but kuthiwe hayi ubani wakwambona esenza le nto, you know. So I was forced to do IT because people were saying IT is the way to go to, but I dropped out because it wasn't in me managing the IT, and then I followed my dreams. I did marketing, I studied music, I studied sound engineering, I studied advertising, so which I would say that's the background of how my company started, which obviously started in 2018. I opened my company in 2018. Yeah, and I think we're doing fine.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
Okay. How did your specialization in marketing and advertising during college influence your approach to event management?
It had a huge influence in the sense that, so, you know, most often you can be an event organizer, but you then have to outsource certain things because it's not your specialty. But my background of having studied marketing and advertising, it has helped me to be able to, you know, save money and not outsource certain things and be able to do those things myself. I would say without the two, I wouldn't have the biggest event in Mambondwe right now. But it's through having the background of knowing where to start when you're doing marketing and advertising. So some people, they think that having a huge lineup will draw people, but it's just the beginning, you know. You need to be thorough in your marketing, you need to be thorough in your advertising, and that's what we've been doing over the years.
All right. Then zaziphi challenges othe wahlangabezana nazo kule company yakhe ye-BDS concepts?
Obviously, I think I would say there's two major, you know, challenges. One is that of, you know, finances, obviously, because when you start the company, you instantly become a director, but you don't instantly, you know, get money. You can be a director, but have no income or have no funding. You know, so that is just one major part, which I would say was a challenge in the beginning. And as you know, the company grew, I would say we managed to create source of income through it, and found a way or a method of sustaining the company through the funds that it creates. Even though I wouldn't say we are successful yet. Successful is a big word. Yeah, but I would say we are doing better than we were doing in the past. You know, the second challenge, you know, obviously my company specializes with events, and the challenge, one of the major challenges, or the second challenge that I have faced, is the fact that I started doing a festival, for instance, in my hometown, which is Bizana. And when I started that festival, I had so many negative, you know, views from people. They would come from people that are in positions of power, and also patrons that would attend events. And you know, the craziest thing I would say is that I have never been offended, or I've never felt like these people are jealous of me in a way, but I've always understood the fact that what I'm starting, it's something that has not been there. When I was studying advertising, I was told that abantu abayifuni into entsha okanye abakhawulezi ukuyamkela change, you know. So you have to work hard to make people to adapt to the change, because people are always looking forward to what they know. So if you are going to bring something new, you are obviously going to meet people who are going to be resistant towards what you are trying to build. So a lot of people would say this thing has never been done, this thing can never happen in Bizana, Casper will never come to Bizana, aka you know, all those things, you know. And for me, I was happy when all those things were happening, because when I started the event, to the background of me starting the festival, it was not necessarily to just bring fun, you know, but it was to inspire young people.
All right.
It was because I studied Abe Bizana, and you know, when you study Emakaya, there's so many things that you're not exposed to. You're not exposed to a laptop. Well, during my time, up until I got to varsity, I was not exposed. I didn't have a laptop. When you have to do an assignment, you offer a laptop one by one, not like people that had been exposed. So there was just so many challenges, and I was like, you know what? Even when you go to Joburg, you see huge buildings that you had never seen before, and you get inspired. You think to yourself, how did this person think about this beautiful building, you know? And then you start to realize that, no man, these are the buildings that you see on advertisements and on TV, but now you are seeing them in person.
Yeah.
So which means all the things that we see in TV, we can take them and bring them to where we come from, you know. So that is the background of why I started the event. I wanted to change the mindsets of people that are from the rural area so that they can believe in what they are and believe that they can be better than they are or they were in the past. Now, when I drop an artist, no one says they won't come to bizana. Their mindsets have changed. They now believe that they can be anything they want to, which means I've achieved what I wanted to achieve by creating that event.
Then it was overcoming journey as challenges as beginning as
faith. It's one aspect that I would say I was taught well of. I have so much faith. My friend sometimes would, you know, when we have meetings and we discuss all the challenges that we have, and we don't seem to see how we're going to get out of this. I always have a positive mind. I always utter positive words. I always be positive. I always say, this is going to happen. I don't know how, but it's going to happen. So I would say more than anything, it's faith. It's one inheritance which I will never exchange with anything that I would say my father left me with. It's faith. And also, you know, being able to work with people. It has helped me a lot because I believe so much in teamwork. Because sometimes when you are alone, you think you can achieve certain things, but you might never know when you work as a team how far you can go. So I believe so much in teamwork. So those are two things that have helped me to overcome the challenges.
All right. You have curated over 25 events.
Yes.
So, yeyiphi eyona event oyibonayo ukuthi yayibonakele ndiphuma nayo like ibi-special kakhulu ngeyona ndlela emangalisayo?
I would say the one that I do in bizana is special. It's very close to me because it has introduced me to, it has opened so many other doors for me to be able to do events in different places in the country. But there's also one that I did in Pretoria, Times Square. It's called the New Year's Block Party. It had 20,000 people at Times Square. So that one was very close to my heart because I was entrusted by a client and then I delivered, you know. Yeah, so I think those are two events that I would say they're very close to my heart.
Okay, all right. And then skiza vuba uthola ama awards ayi-2. So waziva njani ukuthola lawo awards uba urecognize with the industry, then the company yakho yayithatha njani leyo?
I was very happy. I was very happy, especially with the first award. The first award was voted by the public. So it showed how much people recognize what I do. The second one, I think it was a panel. So I was happy to get it as well, but the first one, it was more special because it came from different people who voted for me, and I was competing with really serious people. I was very happy.
All right, okay. In your opinion, what are some of the current trends in the event management industry in South Africa, and how are you adapting to them?
The current trends?
Yes.
I think currently, because of the cost of living, promoters are sort of like moving towards curating lifestyle events. Lifestyle events are not based on the lineup. They're not based on who you have booked to perform, but they are based on creating an experience for the people that are attending your event. So I think that is what I've noticed that currently is happening, and because people are trying to save as much as possible, while they are also, maintaining the quality of doing events. It is also something that I have begun doing. There's an event called Margate All White, which is a lifestyle event as well.
Okay.
I also once did an all white here in Port Edward, which had no lineup. It was a lifestyle event. So I think that is what promoters or event organizers are moving towards, because festivals are very costly.
Yeah.
My festival cost over 2 million.
Sure.
But if I would make it a lifestyle event, it would be way cheaper than it is, because artists alone, they cost me over 800,000. But if I would say I'm not going to base it on the artist that I book, but I'm going to spend it on creating an experience for people who are attending, I would spend less. So I would say that is the current trend that is taking place from the events manager's perspective. And then in terms of music, I think Amapiano are trending.
Yeah.
They have been trending. Also thanks to TikTok. I started TikTok last year. I didn't understand why people are on TikTok. But now I understand why people, Amapiano are trending, because I think it's TikTok that really made Amapiano to trend.
All right. Building strong client relationships is crucial in your field. What strategies do you employ to ensure client satisfaction and loyalty?
My strategy is always one. The client is more important than my profit. Because I'll say this because the review that you get from a client is very crucial in opening or in closing a door for you, in terms of getting more clients. So for me, obviously profits are important, but not at the expense of quality work. So I always make sure that whenever we're dealing with a client, or whenever we're doing something, we promote quality work, we produce quality work so that we can get recommendations. Sometimes there's events that, as a DJ, I've called promoters and said, my guy, can I come play at your event for free? Don't pay me.
Yeah.
And I do that when I know that at that event there's a potential or a possibility of me getting more businesses. Sometimes you have to look beyond the 10, 15,000 you're gonna get now, from one gig, and lose that 15,000 in the process of trying to build 100,000. So sometimes you just have to sacrifice, so that you build more relationships, or you build your clientele.
All right. Then in the next 5 years, uyibona ikuphi company VDS concept?
The next 5 years, it's very difficult to say, but I hope and pray that we would have created more job opportunities. So far, through all the events that I do, we've created over 4,000 jobs. So I hope that in 5 years we would have created over 10,000 jobs.
All right. Thank you so much. Ngokuba nathi apha kwi-South African Filtered.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you also to the viewers. I appreciate it.
All right. Zikhona i-contact details abangakuthola kuzo social?
On social media, it's Volo Dasaint on all social media platforms, and then email volodasaint@gmail.com.